All right, so when you're a botanist, one of your greatest joys in life is unboxing trees. So we're going to do a little tree unboxing here and see what Trees of Antiquity sent us. All right, so this is what I got. So I got the apple King David, one called Monarch, which is almost not commercially available. It's actually part of a cross that I'm forgetting the name of. And we have Liberty up here. And notice, if you look at these three trees, they actually all have different colors. Kind of deep russet maroon, got kind of a pink, and then kind of a gray. This one's got a single side branch, which is pretty far up, but mostly they're basically what they call a whip, which is a single straight line. And they put in a nice stake in there to help us take care of these. So I'm going to have to plant these tomorrow. All right, so first thing I did, obviously, is I dug a hole. You can kind of see how deep it is with my hand a little bit. It's not super deep. This is the tree we're going to plant. It's pretty shallow rooted right now. So what we want to do, what you never want to do when you're planting a tree like this, is kind of force the roots to go in the hole. So you notice how these longer roots are sticking up? That is not okay. So probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand the hole to the side so those roots can go out that way and have enough space. So you can see I just kind of dug the hole over to the side a little bit more. Kind of see the size of the hole based on the shovel. And so those roots should be able to now have some space. There we go. So that should work pretty well. And I kind of aimed them this way because the slope's going that way, so they might be able to get a little bit more water on the side this direction where my thumb is. That's towards the house, so it's probably going to be a little hotter and drier. So I wanted the roots to go the other way. But this is Liberty, so we're hopefully going to get this to produce some apples for us. So over there, about 15-ish feet away, we have that one is King David. Then over there, we have the Monarch apple, and that hopefully will have enough space, even though we have this giant white pine, that it will be able to get enough light. We may not hang on to the white pine forever. It came with the house, but they're looking pretty good. So again, here is the bud union right here. Right there. This down here, this is the understock, and most apple trees you do keep the understock above the ground, but you just want to make sure that the roots are spread out. So when I do this, these are kind of tangled up a little bit. Oh, I think these actually grafted together, of all things. Huh. Never seen a root autographed like that. But anyway, I'll spread them out, and then I'll add some fertilizer. So I like to add bone meal pretty much anytime I'm fertilizing or planting a tree, especially fruit trees, because they really have a lot of calcium needs, and you might guess bone meal's got a lot of calcium in it. All right, so I added the bone meal. So kind of mix it around a little bit so it doesn't get super concentrated, although it's an organic fertilizer, so it's unlikely to burn anything. It's bossy in the background. So that looks pretty good. So I'm going to lay this out. I'll kind of show you some of the steps. You can see I kind of threaded the roots around to give them a little bit of different spaces for them to go. I'm going to have to, of course, add a lot more soil to hold them in place. So, all right, so this is more or less the finished product. And I like to flip the things of sod over so it discourages the grass from growing. I'll probably come by with some Roundup later. But one of the things I like to do is I kind of like to make a little bowl around the base of the tree, because that allows water to accumulate around there and really soak into the roots, which is really important. So the other thing you should always do when you're planting a tree, especially a bare root tree, you must water it pretty much immediately after planting. Now, I was a little bit lazy and I planted the other two, so I'm going to go ahead and water them all. And I'll show you kind of how it should soak in. And we're not talking a little bit of water, we're talking about a lot. Even though it's been raining, you definitely always want to water them. Okay, so right here, I'm going to work on adding some water. So this is about a 3-gallon bucket. And you notice that it pretty much goes away right away. It's a really well-drained site. So that's really good for apples. They don't like what you call wet feet, where the water sits around for very long. Get lots of water. Pretty much all of this. It should soak right up. So even when I've dumped pretty much 3 gallons of water on it, notice my little dams on the side are making sure that it goes to the actual tree. So when it gets hot in the summertime, it should be able to have lots of water. So especially the first year on your trees, any kind of tree, whether it's a fruit tree or not, you definitely want to make sure that you keep an eye on your tree, water it, especially when there hasn't been a whole lot of rain. Now, of course, you don't want to overwater it, but you want to watch what your tree's doing.